second book that you mentioned, Deeper Than Your Deepest Sleep, Thoughts on Love with Joseph Snorton. So here's the cover. And part of the motivation behind this is we know that poetry, just like when you listen to music, a song lyric can be very powerful.
Yes.
Poetry may be, quote, the simplest form of writing, but in a lot of respects, it can be the most powerful form of writing. So the backstory behind the title is that back in, I want to say it was 2014, when the poet laureate, Dr. Maya Angelou, passed. She was actually a professor where I went to college at Wake Forest.
Oh, wonderful.
And I was blessed to be able to go to the actual the memorial service that was done on their campus. That was the service that featured First Lady Michelle Obama, former President Bill Clinton, Oprah Winfrey, obviously, Cicely Tyson. So I was able to be there. But when I got my invite, it was the name of Joseph instead of Andrew. So me being the silly kid that I am, I asked my mom and dad if there's something they wanted to tell me that they hadn't told me before. But in doing a little bit of digging, you know how you come up and discover like distant kin, and this was the story. So in the book, it's really two parts. One part is me asking him questions, looking at the action of love through broader lenses. So you think of the lens of love through your family relationships, community relationships, you know, those people who adopt you as kin, people in your life, people no longer in your life, self-reflection. The first half is really me asking him questions. The second half is him asking me questions. And what I did a little bit differently is that the beginning of each chapter is a portion of the conversation. That way the reader knows the context. When they get into the poem, they can do a better job of drawing connections. I think sometimes as writers, we're always guilty of putting this masterpiece out, but we have to remember we've got to talk with our audience. So in doing that a little bit differently, it's a way to draw connections. And another thing, sometimes people feel that, you know, when you hear loved, some people automatically think relationships. And for some people who might not be in the best space and place, or something isn't happening, especially with the holidays around the corner, that can be a negative spike. So before someone does something foolish, just pause and take inventory. That person that gives you that periodic text, hey, let's get a cup of coffee, or let's go for a walk in the park, or let's watch the game. They're thinking enough of you. So if anything, when you pause and take inventory and you realize there are people that are thinking of you, there are people that think about you and care. So this is just that talk going through that whole dynamic, touching base on people who've kind of fallen by the wayside, times when you've had questions and doubt, but also the hope that can come. And again, just taking inventory. So that's Deeper Than Your Deepest Sleep.